Congressman Dan Kildee of Michigan. Congressman, thanks for joining us tonight. I want to read to you what Senator Patty Murray actually said to the Post to the Greg Sargent at the Plumline blog there earlier today. She said that with this vote, the era of economic hostage-taking and ransom demands should finally be behind us. Do you agree with her? Is this era now officially over?
Well, I agree with her that it should be behind us. It remains to be seen. This has been a pretty unpredictable Republican conference. You know, what today shows is that even Speaker Boehner, when push came to shove, you got to give him credit, he knew where to go to get the votes to do the right thing. It was 28 Republicans and all the Democrats. So if that means that when the next big question comes, the Speaker will make the big decision to actually let the will of the people be heard in Congress. Maybe it's immigration, maybe it's ENDA, maybe it's another budget discussion. We'll see. The thing that concerns me about this is that if the Republicans don't want to be in the majority and don't want to lead and make the tough choices and just want to pander to the base in the home district, they can do that, but they should do it from the minority. They should get out of the way and let the Democrats lead, because that's what we did today.
Well, so what was the key in your mind to the reversal in the Republican strategy on this? Last fall, was it simply the fact that the poll numbers were so toxic for Republicans last fall and they didn't want to repeat that this time?
I think they paid a big price, and the Speaker knew that he paid a big price for allowing them to shut the government down. And it was clear the American people, when they made their judgment, put the blame squarely on the Republicans. And the Speaker, I think, had to make a decision. Is he going to let that happen again? Is he going to pander to the most extreme voices within his own conference and let that happen again? Or will he go the only place he can go to get the reasonable majority that the American people elected? And that's 28 Republicans and almost 200 Democrats. So, you know, that was the only choice that he had. I think that really was the conclusion that he came to last night after his conference met, was that there was nothing he could offer them that would let them go home and explain to the people that they're pandering to that they voted to not default on the credit of the United States. I mean, just think about that. Well, there was nothing he could offer them that would get them to vote to uphold the full faith and credit of the nation that they swore an oath to.
And this gets to something I was talking a little bit to Evan with before you, but it's this story that has sort of defined Washington in conversations about the Republican Party the last few years. When it comes to votes in the House, we're always trying to sort of analyze the psychology of the Republican members, right? Like, we know there's sort of the hardcore Tea Party element that really is, you know, opposed in principle to a debt ceiling increase. But what we're always trying to figure out is how many of these Republicans want to vote yes on something. They want to vote yes on extending the debt limit. They want to vote yes on immigration. They want to vote yes on ENDA, but they're scared of the Tea Party challenge. They're scared of being, you know, called the rhino. They're scared of losing their seats. Just in being down there and having conversations with Republicans, how do you think that math works out? What's your analysis of your Republican colleagues?
Well, I think if they just do it, if they just take this as a mathematics question and look at current opinion of the people that they think are going to make the decision as to whether they come back again, they're going to do the wrong thing every time. When we're elected to these jobs, it's to lead. It's to help explain the challenges we face. One of my favorite professors, Marty Linsky, says that leadership is the act of disappointing your own supporters at a rate they can absorb. They need to start disappointing some of these extreme voices and tell them what they don't want to hear.
But I'm just curious, how many? I mean, you're coming back to, like, it was 28 today, and yeah, that's a low number relatively speaking. It's 28 who said, "Fine, we'll vote to increase the debt limit." But I guess what I'm asking is, do you have a sense of how many wanted to vote yes, or how many would vote yes if they could? What is the big number you guys could maybe get to here on some of these other issues?
It's hard to measure. I guess the one thing we know for sure is that there's maybe 70 or so, 60 or 70 hardcore ideologues. The rest of them, I think, could go either way. 28 of them basically went with us because the Speaker knew he had to deliver those votes. But from what we've seen in the past, you know, there's, I think, a working majority between the Democrats and I think still a majority of Republicans, but it's a weak majority. It's a majority that's afraid of their own districts or afraid of interest groups. But that if they were to sit at home and examine their own conscience, I think a majority of them would have been with us on this. And that to me is the story of tonight. It's not so much how they all voted, but it's how they voted as compared to their own consciences. And I do think that we've got to, maybe this is a moment where they can look at themselves and say, look, next time I'm going to be one of the 28, and maybe we can get to a majority that's actually a functional majority. We don't have to get to the brink of economic catastrophe, as our new Fed chair, Janet Yellen, said it would have been if we had tripped this debt ceiling. She said it would be catastrophic. We can't get to that point. We just can't get to that point before we get you know, the yes votes that we need to do the right thing.
Yeah, no, I think you're hitting an interesting point there. I mean, I think if anything comes out tonight, there is a little less fear among Republicans of the repercussions that come with crossing the Tea Party, and we'll see how far that extends as 2014 goes on. Congressman Dan